Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. So far, Scotty Wynn has been dominating the action, mixing it up on a lot of hands and taking down pots with superb reads. Overall, he's gaining momentum.
The chip positions hadn't changed much so far. Hansen's still a leader with over $1 million. John Uwanda's in second, about the same as he started with nearly 600,000 in chips. Deeb is about the same, and Hennigan and Chris Bigler are getting short. They're going to have to play something here soon. So here we go with the action. Hennigan will be the first to speak.
Well, you see here, John Hennigan now has King-Jack offsuit. It's a decent hand.
He does. He limps in. He calls the big blind in first position with the King-Jack.
Scotty has junk, throws it away.
Hansen throws it away, and here comes Deeb on the button. Deeb also limp with the King-Queen. Bigler picks up 2 aces in the blind, and he moves all in.
And not just the half the bet. This is kind of interesting. He goes in the whole way.
Chris Bigler is the tightest player in the game. I'm sure he'll get great respect from these players every time he moves all in.
Yep, threw it away.
He throws it away. Deeb throws his hand away. They give him respect, as he deserves, as you can see. When he moves all in, he's got the goods.
Now, we should explain that if you have fewer chips than someone has already bet, you can still call. If you win, you can only win as many chips from the other guy as you had at the start of the hand. Like sometimes in the classic cowboy movies, the cowboy will make a big bet and the rancher doesn't have enough money. And so the rancher will say, well, I don't have enough, but I'll put up my ranch for the rest of it. That doesn't happen in the poker world. In the real poker world, you can always call a bet, but you can only win as much as you had in that pot.
And if you lose, you're out of the tournament.
Look at that smile from a man that just had aces and won a nice pot.
When you're all in and win the pot, you're always smiling. In this case, I honestly think you bet too much in this hand. I think you want to get some action with aces. If I was him, I'd have bet about 40,000 right there. He picked up the blind. He's still a short stack.
I would not consider myself as a real professional player. I'm definitely not a gambler. There's a big difference between a poker player and a gambler.
All right, here we go.
Scotty looking at his hand. King junk, throws it away.
Here comes Hansen again.
King-8 offsuit.
Raise. Gus opens the pot for 19.
Gus is bumping it up.
He's staying in his aggressive mode with a King-8 offsuit. He's just trying to pick up the blinds and ante. And Deeb is looking at his stack here. He looks like he's going to raise this pot.
With not a great hand at all.
An ace-8 offsuit is all he has. But I guarantee you the way he's stacking those chips out there, he is going to raise this pot.
51 more.
You're right.
51,000 raised.
He raises 51,000 with an ace-8 offsuit.
Is that going to backfire?
I don't think it's going to backfire because I don't see how Gus can call his raise. That's a strong play to re-raise a razor.
Oh, there he goes. Gus is out.
If they don't have a big hand, they fold. That's exactly what happened here. And there's a message that Freddie Deeb is sending to Gus, and that is, you're not going to run all over me, and you're not going to just raise and take every single pot. Freddie can see that if he's going to get in there and get some chips, he's going to have to come over the top of Hansen. He did it there with a marginal hand, ace-8 offsuit. Great play by Deeb to win that pot, and it'll be interesting to see if a little rivalry breaks out here.
I usually don't play too many tournaments. It's actually my first final table, but I love competition.
Well, he's been the most aggressive player the last 4 days. I don't look for him to change his style today. Here we go.
Gassim has a junk hand, throws it away quickly. Chris taking a look, chucks it.
John, you want to call 6,000?
Well, he limps in with the 7-8 of diamonds. I mean, people like to see a flop with that hand.
That's a pretty good hand in this position.
Hennigan calls 6,000.
Now, Hennigan, sitting right behind him, also calls on the button with the King-4 of diamonds. Scotty folds in the small blind. And Gus knocks the table. So we're going to have three-way action here. And look at this. All three players have diamonds, and 2 diamonds come on the flop. Hansen checks.
That's 8 diamonds out right now.
Yeah, but they don't know that. I'll tell you, it's going to be interesting. Some fireworks could develop here. Uwanda checks. And here comes Hennigan.
John bets 12,000.
12,000 on the button.
Gus calls.
Hansen is a flush draw, so he calls a 12,000. And now it's going to be interesting. Everybody has a flush draw. John Uwanda, who has a straight flush draw, ironically has the worst hand with just an 8-high flush draw. Both of them have him beat. It's going to be interesting to see what Uwanda does here.
Uwanda raises.
He raises it up to 44,000.
He has a straight draw. He thinks he could win with a flush. And he's trying to say to them, you probably don't have a jack, but you may now think that I have a jack.
Even though you have a flush draw here, you're scared of a jack. So flush draw is not that great of a thing because of the pair of jacks out there. It's going to be interesting to see what Hennigan does here. He's got a short stack, so look at the look on Hennigan's face here.
Johnny Hennigan goes all in.
He moves all in here for $137,000. Gus throws his flush draw away, and now he's put the test over here on John Uwanda here. Now, Uwanda has a straight flush draw, but he knows he has the worst hand at this moment. Now, the question is, does he want to call another $100,000 or so with his straight flush draw?
Sure he does. Because he has a straight draw, he has a flush draw. He thinks Hennigan raised before the flop. He thinks maybe he had a big pair.
Well, there's about $230,000 in the pot already, so it's going to cost him nearly $100,000 more to call. He does call. Look at this. He does call with a straight flush draw. He knows he's got to hit something to get out. Hennigan turns up the king, 4 diamonds, and John Uwanda does not like to see that, I can assure you. And look at this, a diamond comes on the turn.
John Hennigan makes a king-high flush. John Uwanda needs a 10 of diamonds.
Now, in this case, he doesn't know it, but he's drawing dead. It looks like he needs a 10 of diamonds to win the pot. But we knew that Gus Hansen had the 10 of diamonds, so he was actually drawing dead in this hand once the diamond came on 4th Street. So I give Hennigan a lot of credit for moving over the top with a king-high flush draw on that spot. He doubles up. He's going to be a force.
To be a poker player at this level, you'd have to have a lot of intuition, being able to guess what people are doing just by the way they might move their hand. I mean, you just get a sense for people. I mean, when you have the 10 of diamond, that spot.
All right, let's get to the next hand. Chris Bigler is the first to speak here. Bigler folds, Uwanda folds, and here comes Hennigan. You know he's going to raise with the 7s, and he does. He makes it $15,000 to go.
Raise 15,000.
Scotty folds on the button.
Gus is calling.
Gus has called 15,000, and Kasim is going to call 9,000 more. So look at this. We had a 3-way action flop here, and here comes a flop. King, Queen, 7. Now this is going to be interesting because Gus has flopped the top pair with 2 kings, yet John Hennigan has flopped 3 7s. Gus leads out and bets 25,000 on the flop.
Kasim folds.
Kasim folds his straight draw. And Hennigan calls.
He just calls, which is interesting.
He's trapping here, Ben. That's right. He's trapping. A 6 of clubs, the perfect card to come off for Hennigan's hand. Now here comes Hansen. Now Hansen's bet 40,000, and again, Hennigan just calls him.
John calls.
He does not raise back with a set in this pot.
River card's an ace.
It's definitely a scare card for Gus, but it also doesn't necessarily make Hennigan all that happy. And that in case Hansen had Jack 10, he would have made a straight to beat his 3 7s. We know he didn't, but Hansen didn't like that ace, and he checked.
Gus checks.
I'm certain Hennigan will bet. Let's see how much he bets.
Yeah, he did. He bet, and now Gus is sick about this hand. Look at him. Disgusted. He thinks the ace probably just beat him. Little did he know.
That's why he's disgusted. He doesn't really know how lucky he was in this pot not to lose more money. He doesn't know how lucky the ace came off, because if it didn't, he's going to lose a lot of money in this pot. He has a chance to get away from this hand now.
The people that don't know poker real well, look at the patience that Hennigan had to have 3 of a kind and just set up his opponent. Act as if he didn't have much. Just call, just call.
Well, Hansen knows Hennigan raised before the flop. He called a bet on the flop. He called a bet on 4th Street. He knows he's got something here.
Gus threw it away.
And sure enough,
Gus folds. John Hennigan wins the hand.
he was smart enough to lay that hand down.
And he's not going to show his hand, is he? Doesn't want to give that away, that he's setting him up, that he's trapping him.
Sure enough. Okay, as Hennigan stacking the 2nd pot in a row, he's getting on a little roll just at the right time because the price of poker is going up, Vince. We're now earning $2,000 a man, and the blinds are 5 and 10,000. It means there's 27,000 laying out on the table for anybody to pick up a pot now.
Hennigan has built up his stack and is primed to make a move. He's becoming a force to be reckoned with.
There's a break in the action. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Hello, Mr. Cunningham. Alan, it's a big pot out there, buddy. I'm all in. Don't be scared.
I call.
Only a donkey would make that call.
We play at FullTiltPoker.com.
So far, John Hennigan set a beautiful trap for chip leader Gus Hansen. Hennigan is now in position to challenge anyone at the table. And in Elimination Texas Hold'em, only one player will be left standing at the end of the evening.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour.
Okay, players are now playing with a $2,000 ante, $5,000 and $10,000 blind.
Gus is still in front, but in second, third, fourth, and fifth, everybody has about the same amount of money. And then Chris is lagging way behind. He's going to have to push it and play aggressively.
Let's see what happens. Here's Hansen. He's gone out. Now here comes Freddie. He's just limped in.
With a pretty good hand, though. Jack Queen.
Well, he's got Queen Jack offsuit. He's trying to see a flop, a cheap flop here. Bigler folds his hand.
Now look at this. Look at this. Now Johnny Uwanda has picked up a dream hand. Two cowboys. You can call them Kinkerbells, whatever you want, but he's got two kings in. He's going to raise with that.
Kinkerbells, 60,000 to go. He makes it.
Whatever you want to call it, you want to get them. Two Kinkerbells I'll take any time.
And again, Scotty fold in the blinds, and now we're back to Deeb, who's got Queen Jack, and he folds the Queen Jack. So Deeb limped in, and Uwanda raised at 50,000, picks up the pot with two kings on the button.
Shows it.
He shows the pocket kings. That's interesting.
Advertising a little bit there.
Not too many guys have shown their cards today, if you notice, and I think it's very smart. You just let him know he has a hand, maybe because he's going to start bluffing, but he wants him to think he's always got a hand when he raises. Let's see if he shows a bluff.
You know, I think all six of us are very successful poker players. Who worries me the most? They all do.
All right, here we go to the next hand. Deeb will be the first to speak, and he throws his hand away. Chris mucks his hand. Uwanda throws his hand away. Here comes Hennigan.
Hennigan calls 10,000.
He just limps in on the button. He's trying to sneak in for a flop here.